Hey folks, Landstryder here. We're going to be doing a little more beta playthrough of my new mod pack. Today, Atom Smasher. Going to show you off some of the, what am I trying to say, nuclear craft stuff. And we've gotten a little further along in the tech line, so we can show off some of that too today. Yeah, I think we're doing pretty good here. Found a lot of things I'm going to be changing in the next update, so don't get used to any of these recipes if you're currently playing the pack, because a lot of things are going to be changing. But primarily, like, well, let me just go over my list real quick. Maybe that way, if anybody has found anything else, they can leave a comment. Maybe I can get it in before the next update, which is probably going to be working on that tomorrow. So we're going to be working on the ore doubling for the nuclear craft, the odd ores. Currently don't ore double using the whole Mekanisim slash there's not a whole great deal of ore doubling for that. The only way to do that right now currently is using the manufactory. I'd like to turn that off, the manufacturer's ability to ore double, and then do that ore doubling through the other normal processes that most of the other ores are ore doubled with. So that's number one on my list there. That one might be one of the more difficult ones to actually accomplish, so it might not fully get implemented in the next update, but that's on the list. The cyclic charms, like all of the from the cyclic mod, the CYC cyclic, a lot of these recipes have not been tweaked yet, so I am going to go through every item and take a look at what their current recipe is and decide if it needs to be teched up, basically. Particularly the charms. These are way cheaper than I would like them to be currently. Yeah, very, very cheap for what they do. They're very powerful items, so like the nether wart's probably going to get replaced with like an advanced alloy of some sort. The diamond in the middle might get replaced by something, and of course the iron will probably get replaced by some sort of plates, maybe even advanced alloys or something like that, some kind of. But yeah, they'll all require some sort of tech items in order to accomplish them. Some of these wands might go, or if they stay, they're definitely going to get tech style, more tech of a recipes that are more tech, that make them seem like they're technology rather than magic. What else? Next on the list is we're going to look for a mod that adds some kind of compression. So like for like compressed cobblestone, compressed gravel. It'd be nice. I just think it'd be nice for storage, and possibly for use in certain recipes or whatever, to compress some of these items. Like I just it's nice. That may or may not happen, but it's on my list. Drawer tweaks. We're going to be changing the amount that the 2x2 drawers can store, and we're going to be switching those recipes all down to only providing one drawer. Like currently, drawers, like if we was to craft that, gives us like one drawer output. There we go, one output of a drawer. The double drawers give 2, and the four-way drawers, the 2x2s, give 4 drawer outputs. Those are all going to be squashed down to just one drawer. So when you do this recipe, it'll just give you one drawer. But instead of holding the 8 stacks that they currently hold per drawer, they'll all hold 32. So and the single drawers, actually I might pump up the single drawers just a little bit, from 32 up to maybe even 64, like double the single drawers. The two-way drawers currently hold 16, so I might take them up. Instead of holding 16, they'll probably be somewhere in between 32, probably 48 stacks, and then the 2x2 drawers will actually hold 32 stacks per drawer. So that'll offset the fact that you're not going to get that many of them from that recipe. So that's the main thing with drawers. I think. Yeah. The recipe, like I said, the recipes will go down. Well, I never did quite understand why the 2x2s gave by default 4 drawers and the 1x give 1 drawers. I mean, just I suppose we're saying that chest can hold 32 stacks, which I think is actually pretty close to what an actual chest can hold there. 9 times 3 is actually 27, so it's just a slight more stacks. So yeah, maybe I won't tweak the amount that the basic drawer can hold, and I will just tweak up the 2x2 drawers. But that, I don't know. 6 1/2 dozen the other. We'll see how that works out, or what I decide when I actually go to do it. Maybe somebody will give me an argument one way or the other as to how they think it should go. Maybe I will listen. Unlikely, but you know, maybe. What you looking at? What you looking at with us?
No, you.
Oh,
what you were saying?
Maybe I'll listen. Nah, or it really won't happen. The exchanger recipes. Apparently, when I updated that mod, the exchanger mod. Exchangers. Apparently, it re-added the vanilla recipes. Those are not supposed to be enabled. So they're gonna go adios. You're only supposed to be able to craft the ones that require the Mekanisim components. So yeah, the vanilla recipes for exchangers are gonna go adios. They just kind of snuck back in when I did an update on that particular mod, so I'm gonna make sure I fix that. The configurator for Mekanisim. This thing right here, which is like the Mekanisim wrench, it's the only way that you can modify these cables to draw energy out of like certain blocks and stuff like that. And even though you can make the cables early on, they are of limited use because you can't configure them. So I'm going to give that configurator recipe. Like currently, it requires enriched alloy and an energy tablet, which also requires enriched alloy. I'm going to change that up so that it is probably just some steel and a battery. And I'll leave the lapis and the stick as part of that recipe, but we'll use like a battery from Tech Reborn or Industrial Craft. One of these batteries here, possibly the advanced rechargeable battery. That'll make it at least a little more difficult, but all this stuff can be got relatively early game. Yeah, probably the advanced rechargeable battery. We'll use that one in the replacement for that configurator, because yeah, we want to be able to mess with. We want to be able to use these a little more. Use all the options that you can do. Like there's different things, like you can set these energy cables, and also like the liquid cables and pipes, you can set them to pull energy out of machines, and or set them to only insert energy, and etc, etc. But basically what that means is if you build an industrial craft generator of some sort, or even like say this peat generator or peat fired generator over here also has that same problem. The universal cables won't pull energy out of them unless you actually set it for that, and you can't do that without a configurator. So I'm going to make that craftable at the same time. So like when you're able to actually craft the first point, when you're able to craft the universal battery or universal cables, you'll actually be able to craft a configurator to manipulate those cables as well at that same tech level. So that's one of the things that will change. I'm going to make sure that I don't know, I just need to check on it, but I didn't see any nether diamonds when we were over in the nether. So I might actually add an additional mod to add more nether ores. If I don't, or figure out why we're not seeing diamonds. Maybe they're much more rare than I expected, and if so, I might actually make them less rare in the nether for diamonds, because I want you to be able to get some diamonds in the nether. Quite a few diamonds actually be able to get in the nether. Probably going to add inventory tweaks, just a mod that's a nice convenience mod. Some people have a hard time, don't like to mess with mod packs. They just want that mod to be in and not have to add it themselves. So we'll do that. And for the people that really just don't want it, it's not that hard to figure out how to disable that particular mod either. So we're just going to put it in for default for now. Let's see, what's the next one? Some stone dust recipes. You get a heck of a lot of this stone dust from Industrial Craft, and right now there's only like one thing you can do with it, which is to make foam. What do I call it? What do they call it? Construction foam powder. That's the only thing you can do with it right now, and you get like a ridiculous amount of it. So one of the things I would like to do is add a few recipes that will use that to craft other blocks. Particularly, I mean, it's stone dust, right? You should be able to craft gravel and sand with it. Possibly, maybe even combine it with something to make some dirt. Possibly. So I'm going to add some additional recipes to use the stone dust. Maybe even if you throw it in a furnace, you can get like smooth stone. Maybe. Some things like that. Or if you combine like 4 of these, you can get some cobblestone, something like that. And then you could cook. Then you could cook it in the oven. But anyway, I want to add some extra recipes for using that stone dust to give it a little more use, because you're going to end up with a ridiculous amount of it. And it would just be nice to have a use for it rather than having to void it in like a void drawer or whatever like that. So yeah, that's something I want to take care of. This one was brought up to me by Twitchy. He mentioned that the color of Proxima Centauri, the sun that the overworld actually orbits around, is supposed to be red giant. So I'm going to see if I can't switch that in the Advanced Rocketry config. Now that will not take effect in previously generated worlds. It'll only take effect in new generated worlds, or I think there might be a command. In fact, let's see. Advanced Rocketry. What is their commands here? There's fetch, dump, biomes, give station, go to planet, reload recipes? I don't know. Star maybe? I don't know what star does. There's probably more to it than that, but if I put star in, yeah, I don't know what the options are there, but yeah, it won't affect previously generated worlds, unfortunately. So it will only affect newly generated worlds. So that one we might not see unless we force it to redo the Advanced Rocketry universe file. So one of the things I've been trying to avoid, but you know, we're eventually going to restart the server when we do the actual official playthrough, once we get like quests in and all the recipe tweaks mostly done and the mod list absolutely finalized. It was kind of halfway toying with the idea of removing Industrial Craft and just using Reborn as the initial mod. And then I'm kind of like on the fence on that one. So because I'd really do there's some things that both of them are missing, in my opinion. So like Industrial Craft doesn't have like the big multi-block processing machines that Reborn has. Reborn is supposed to be like the Greg Tech equivalent or whatever. Did that actually make 2 things? No, okay, no. It was just a lag thing. So you wouldn't have these things if you just kept with just Industrial Craft. But if I removed Industrial Craft and just left Reborn, you wouldn't have that highly dangerous nuclear reactor. And I do like those highly dangerous nuclear reactors. But I don't know that a lot of people are going to want to use them, being the fact that we have the nuclear craft and these things right here. You can see my nuclear reactor, just a little one, not a real big one, down here. It's pretty good. It's producing like 9,020 RF a tick with the configuration that I have it right now. We'll get into that in a little bit. We'll tear this apart and I'll show you the inner workings of this thing. And why is this not actually... We actually have enough power to go around? Is that what it is? Oh, there must not be any ore processing upstairs right now. But Yeah, color approximate Centauri. I mentioned possibly. I'm on the fence about like keeping both Industrial Craft and Tech Reborn. If I, there's also another option there, a third option, which is to turn off the automatic blending. Like Tech Reborn has an option that it's supposed to remove the redundant recipes and stuff like that. And the reason I might turn that off is because of a little issue that Dornell run into earlier, which I'm hoping that he's going to do some testing on like really soon, where he made the electric tree tap from Tech Reborn, which had a really cheap recipe. That's a retardedly cheap recipe for this. The problem is it will not charge up off of Industrial Craft charge pads or batteries or anything else like that. So it pretty much has to have either the Tech Reborn battery or some sort of Tech Reborn. Yeah, I won't go in there at all. Well, of course not. It's not charging up off of there. I didn't try putting it in here. Well, that's actually just a fuel slot, so that wouldn't do anything. Yeah, there's nowhere to charge it without creating a Tech Reborn energy producer, and most of those are disabled because of that automatic setting where it's supposed to take out the redundant stuff. So one of those redundant things that it takes out are the battery boxes. So bat box right there, you see the only bat box is Industrial Craft and yeah, pretty much that's it. Normally there would be a Tech Reborn battery box and battery stuff, and the different levels of batteries, but again, that's been removed because of that one setting in a config file. So that yeah, on the fence about all of that right now. So maybe if somebody give me some good suggestions, I'm all ears on that one. Personally, I think I'd like to keep both, and just because some people really like the Industrial Craft nuclear reactor, they may not want to have this style of reactor. That's probably the main reason. That's probably my big reason. I like both. I like both. The next thing on my list is the elevator from RFtools. RFtools. It's a fairly simple block that doesn't have it's not like an overpowered block or anything like that. The problem is right now it does require RFtools machine frame, which, because of the fact that I wanted RFtools to be endgame, like all the RFtools stuff to be endgame, which most of the blocks that RFtools adds are fairly powerful. Except for maybe this one. This one's not that, it's an elevator. It's not like ridiculously overpowered or anything like that. So I might switch this to, instead of using a machine frame, I'm just going to change this recipe so that you can get this early game fairly easy. Probably leave everything else the same, but just replace that machine frame with a piston. And be done. I might even instead of using the ender pearl and the redstone torch, I might just have it be 3 pistons and some maybe some iron or tin or something like that around the outside, down the outside there. So yeah, that one's going to be changed to a much easier recipe, something that you can do early game, because everybody wants an elevator in their base to go down into their mine. I think that's pretty cool. What you up to, bud? You on the... Oh, look at that. Yes, we'll get there in a minute. And then the one other thing that I had on my list, in fact, we'll get there in like less than 30 seconds. The one other thing I had on my list is I'd like to have some kind of early game method of getting gunpowder, because right now you can get gunpowder pretty easy once you have Mekanisim. Gunpowder, we look at the recipes for that. Of course, UU matter. There's a fish that you can get, that you can fish up from the gravestone mod, but other than that, there's Mekanisim methods, either by enriching some saltpeter dust or crushing some flint into gunpowder, neither of which are early game because Mekanisim is not early game. Saltpeter is actually not that hard to get. You get the industrial centrifuge. Maybe it is a little bit hard to get. No, actually that's not bad at all. If you get the manufacturer, you can do sandstone into saltpeter dust, which is actually very early game. So probably what I'll do is I'll like do saltpeter, charcoal, and sulfur recipe, so that if you want to get a little bit of gunpowder without having to hunt down a bunch of creepers, that you'll be able to do that early game. And the reason for that is because of flue powder. Yes, that's right, flue powder from random things. I really wanted to mess with this. Unfortunately, I haven't got no gunpowder yet, so we're stuck there. All right, man. How do the tiers go? Tiers of which? What are you talking about? Well, Jan, tiers. Right now, tiers of crafting, tiers of tech. Tiers of tech goes industrial craft, tech reborn. And then once you get into that pretty deep, then you can open up Mekanisim and RFtools are like the top tier stuff. And kind of advanced rocketry is just kind of off to the side by itself. So it doesn't really have a tier. It can be done at any point once you have the materials for it. So advanced rocketry, and that's actually not a bad one to get into early on, advanced rocketry. Especially if you want to get to the other planets and start, you know, having the really, really awesome places to mine up really good stuff. So, but yeah, we are at that point where we can move into the final tier of tech, which actually happened pretty fast. A lot of that has to do with the fact that we've had everybody helping us, coming on, helping us a little bit here and there. And
but it's to test, so we know what we need to tweak. We found that we need to tweak a lot of stuff because we did do it too fast.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, pretty much. Plus, the quests will help you out with once I get the quest initiated. I haven't put any quests in yet. I have put in the mod to put the quests in, but I haven't actually added any quests. I don't think I'm going to get any in the next update, just because I like really struggle when it comes time to write quests.
Which Twitchy said he's going to help us with
that, which will be awesome. So you made the industrial centrifuge. This thing was really, really hard to make because it requires aluminum plate, and I think as far as like the tech progression goes, we're okay. As long as you can't get through the entire pack in less than 24 hours. I mean, I'm okay with like maybe a 48 or 72 hour cycle, you know, to like get to end tech. That's not gonna like get you through the entire pack, but that'll get you to the end tech where you're able to start creating the big stuff, like the fusion reactor from Mekanisim and the big fusion reactor from nuclear craft. Both of those are really awesome amounts of power. Pretty cool, interesting how they work, and they both work very differently. The Mekanisim requiring way more logistical setup, but also produces like a redonkulous amount of power. And there'll be things once you actually get to that level 2, the RF tools, you know, you start being able to create your own dimensions. You're going to want to be able to power those dimensions, especially if you want like ridiculous dimensions, like full of like diamonds or something like that. It's going to require a whole lot of power in order to keep those open and running. So yeah, and at that point you'll want to have like a fusion reactor, not a fission reactor, because that's what we have right here, right down here, right now, just a little fission reactor. But once we get to the fusion reactors, then we're talking about massive amounts of power. All right, let's put this together. It's not actually a grinder. We already put the grinder together. We were gonna do that on the stream, but we decided that we needed to like get through that because it was pretty much holding us up with everything else. But now I can show you the metallurgic infuser recipe. Metallurgic infuser. So there's 2 recipes for the metallurgic infuser. Obviously, the second recipe requires that you already have a metallurgic infuser because you can't make a rich alloy without the metallurgic infuser. So basically what I'm saying is, like, once you have your first one, you can create more of them cheaply, not too hard. So, but the first one requires an alloy smelter and industrial centrifuge. And again, that industrial centrifuge requires aluminum plates. You can't make this top recipe because there's no refined iron. That's part of that removing the redundant recipe things that Tech Reborn does. And again, that's a config switch that I may or may not end up turning off. We'll see. But aluminum plates can only be made. Yeah, well, first you got to get aluminum ingots, obviously. Aluminum ingots can only be made in an industrial blast furnace. Only way to make them. And then, of course, to get the aluminum itself, there's actually a couple different ways. Oh, yeah, well, once you have Mekanisim, you can process aluminum a little bit easier. But before you have the Mekanisim, the only way to get it is using a industrial grinder from Tech Reborn. Yeah, industrial grinder or the industrial electrolyzer would also work. Either of those will work to get you a little bit of aluminum powder, but still the only way to process that prior to getting Mekanisim getting into Mekanisim is using this big old multi-block down here, this industrial blast furnace, which you can see is it takes a lot of power and a lot of time to process that aluminum. A lot of power. But yeah, once you've got that, the alloy smelter is not too difficult. It's just 2 electric furnaces and a basic machine frame, that. So that's not too difficult. I just, just kind of makes sense to have an alloy smelter and industrial centrifuge as part of as part of that recipe. I thought that was very, very sensible. Very sensible. But yeah, that's the big limitation on how to get to that top tier tech, is through the metallurgic infuser. Once you can get a metallurgic infuser put together like so, ding, there it is, the metallurgic infuser. And put it down right there. Now we are ready to do top tier tech. So, which involves Mekanisim, RF, and RF tools. Those are the top tier techs. So I would say that there's, I would say that there's 3 tiers of tech: low tech, mid tech, and top tier tech in the pack. Probably low tier and mid tier, it kind of blend in pretty well. Low tech is actually some of these. Some of the stuff from Nuclear Craft and the IC2 stuff. Mid tier would be like Advanced Rocketry and the stuff from the bigger machines from Tech Reborn. Possibly some of the high end machines from Industrial Craft would also be considered mid tier. But yeah, that's how I would lay out the tiers in my mind, anyway. So, I totally forgot to start my music. Oh well, I'm just gonna forget about it. Forget about it. We don't need music today. Here, we'll play this music. Maybe. Money for nothing. I'm curious to see if it tries to give me a strike. It shouldn't, since it's 8-bit. But yeah, that's where we're at right now. Now that we got the metallurgic infuser, we should be able to start getting further along. I think I would like to do a little bit of advanced rocketry right now. Since I want to go to Earth, because we're not on Earth.
Right, well, this has no interface.
What is it? Really? Ah.
No interface, so we gotta wire it into the. Well, that ain't gonna work.
Maybe I just need to remove that recipe then. Well, the other question is, there's actually 2 different kinds of rubber tree. I wonder if the Industrial Craft one is even gonna work on is even going to work on the alternate rubber trees. Now these are the industrial craft rubber trees that we have around all around here, but the other rubber trees might not work on them. Interesting. Why did that not actually change the sound level? Well, you've really got to turn it way down. Interesting, interesting. Well, let me see what I can do with these bauxite ore too, by the way. Oh, it's got to go in an electrolyzer. I don't think we have an electrolyzer going, do we? I don't have an electrolyzer. Okay, I'll just toss it in this chest for now. Till we can make an electrolyzer. And move this little bit of aluminum dust over to process. Alright, let me get into some advanced rocketry. So, of course, the first thing I'm going to need is the hologram projector. This thing right here. So, optical things with some gold plates. That should be easy enough. Grab a little bit of gold. I think I just need one gold. So one gold plate. Throw that in the pressurizer. I could also put it in the compressor too, I believe. No, actually I put it in the metal former if I wanted a plate out of that. But pressurizer, these I actually have these set up to go pretty quick. I got some speed upgrades in them. Yeah, they're power hungry, but it's okay. And then oh, actually I need two of those, because I need two optical sensors things. And then glowstone and glass panes.
Well,
okay.
We've hit a point where we don't really need to worry about rubber anymore anyways.
Yes. And that's the other thing. I mean, but I don't want people crafting it and then, like, you know, feeling like they wasted their materials or whatever, so.
Yeah, I understand. We need to get that out.
So I either need to have a way to charge it or remove that so that people aren't crafting it. What is that? Holographic staff. Oh, from the Dalek Mod. Ooh. That's expensive. I wonder what it does. It's craftable, though. Some iron plates. Oh, wait. This is what I'm trying to make. Glowstone. That's what I needed. Glowstone. Need two of those. And then I just need an iron plate and some redstone. Should be an iron plate here somewhere. There's steel plate. Who made steel plates? These iron.
I did. Did you just take my steel plates? Okay. I need them to make my steel casing.
There's my holographic projector.
Oh.
What's up?
They were supposed to leave my inventory.
I need to go stir my chili. I'll be right back. Give me just a few seconds, guys. Okay, sorry about that, guys. Yes, that's right. I'm cooking and streaming at the same time. Alright, so let's see. First things first for the hollow projector. Whoa, we're going to probably want to put this stuff downstairs where we got a little bit of space. First thing we're going to need, I believe, is going to be the crystallizer. Actually, I might need to make the blast furnace. Is that even on here anymore? Where is it at? Did I pass it up? Ah, there we go. Electric arc furnace. And the reason for that, I believe, is because we only can make that silicon bowls. These right here. Silicon bowls are made in the crystallizer, but they require silicon ingots, which can only be made with silicon dust in a smelter, which you actually can't craft in any manner, sadly. And the only other way is to throw some sand in the electric arc furnace. We're going to need a big old electric arc furnace someplace. Well, let's plan for that one right over here in this corner. That'll probably work. So there we go. If we put it right there in the corner. How tall will that end up being? Actually, that's probably just fine. Right? It'll come up right to there. Yep, that'll work. Okay, let's start with the bottom. We're going to need some heat-proof brick. Bunches of it. Bunches of heat-proof brick.
Get away.
Heat-proof brick. Magma cream. Ooh, do we have magma cream? Can we even make? That's gonna be a little more difficult than I thought. And regular bricks, but that does give me 16 heat-proof brick. Magma cream. So glow-sir, blaze powder, and slime balls. Well, blaze powder might not be too difficult if I go over to the nether. I don't think I currently have any blaze powder or blaze rods even. Okay, this is going to be a little bit more difficult than I expected. Now I think, in fact, that's actually something I want to put down here. I would like to skip the whole having to have an electric arc furnace because the thing's big. It's kind of cumbersome and fairly slow. I'd like to have an alternative recipe for those silicon bowls, or silicon ingots. And probably what I'll do is make it so that, because there's also the silicon used from Applied Energistics that can be processed a few different ways, nether quartz or Certus quartz. But if you have a Mekanisim crusher, you can get those silicon from just crushing some sand. Actually, that's pretty nice.
Got a present for you.
Or the manufacturer can get it for out of things. Yes, you got a present. What? Who? What? Nice. An enrichment chamber. Okay, cool. I should probably be talking about the nuclear craft too before we get too far distracted by the advanced rocketry stuff too. I did want to go over some of that nuclear craft. So, obviously, one of the first things you need to do for nuclear crafts, you need to make a manufacturer. This is like the base block, the base machine block for pretty much all of the nuclear craft machines. So usually they start out with either a manufacturer or something along that lines. Currently, the manufacturer.
Hey, Whisper.
Hey, Whisper. Not too much. Just going over some of the stuff that we did, and showing off all of the machines. We actually just got to the level of Mekanisim, so we're ready to start into the next tier of technology. Just waiting for Darnell to make me my rocket pack, and fill it with hydrogen for me, and all that other fun stuff.
You said you wanted a crusher, so I'm working on a crusher.
I didn't say that.
Yes, you did.
I
So you could crush some sand so you can get some silicon.
No, actually, I was saying that you could do it. It won't work. That's what I was saying. It doesn't work right now in the current version. I'm saying that that's what I want it to do in the next version, which I'm going to update. Currently, if you yeah, that will have absolutely no help. But thanks for the offer. Yeah, that won't help me at all. If you want to help me with Advanced Rocketry, you have to go to the Nether and get me some blaze rods. But in the future, I will have silicon ingots be craftable via silicon ingots from the AE silicon. So if we look at silicon, these things right here, these silicon, circular silicon things that you can either get like I said, from Certus dust or nether quartz dust, but you can also use a crusher to get that kind of silicon, the kind of silicon that won't help me right now in the current version. Or you could use the manufactory, which you can actually do early game. This would be the manufactory. So, and hopefully that wouldn't change if I tell it not to process ore. I'm not sure. We'll find out. But
yes, Whisper, we've made some progress. You come in, things will be a little different from what they was last night.
Yeah, we got the industrial grinder is set up. The industrial grinder is set up down here, and the industrial blast furnace right beside it there. And I was thinking about making the electric arc furnace, but then I realized I hadn't really talked too much about the actual nuclear craft stuff, so we're going to go over that a little bit here. And I went over earlier. I went over like all the things that are on my notepads for the next update. So if you do end up watching the stream, watching the beginning of the stream, I go over that list relatively early in the stream. So
I just I can make 4 pieces of steel out of 1 coal now.
Oh yeah. Yep, that's really good because now we can make much cheaper steel. We can make cheap circuits. That will help a lot, actually. But yeah, silicon ingots from the AE silicon. That's next thing on my to-do list for the next update. And basically what I think I'll do is just have it if you smelt this again, like uses of this. Right now the only uses for it isn't in the scriber, but I think I'll just have it if you smelt this again, you'll get a silicon ingot. And then I will probably ore dictionary these 2 things as well so that you can use the silicon ingot in the same process. So you'll be able to use that silicon ingot in the inscriber, hopefully, if I do it right. So it shouldn't matter however you go about getting your silicon, it should work. Whether it's in an ingot form or if it's in circular form there. So yeah, that'll be something to put in the next update. But for now, we were talking about nuclear craft. So nuclear craft, you start out with a manufactory. The manufactory is basically your grinder slash processing thing. You can see the recipes here. It will currently will process ores, although that is going to get shut off in a future update once I have all of the only reason I have it able to process ores currently is because there are a number of ores, particularly lithium, magnesium, basically all the ores that are strictly nuclear craft. Yeah, these ones, lithium, magnesium, I think the other one is boron. Yeah, boron. Those 3 ores don't, and thorium. Thorium is another one. Those ores do not have a, none of the other mods just automatically detect them and, do the double process, or, do ore doubling for them. So, the only ore doubling that is currently you have to use a manufactory for. Eventually, I plan to have that so that you can do the ore processing on them basically the same way you do all the rest of the ores. You throw it in the macerator or the industrial grinder or one of those things down there, and then you get like 2 or 3 times the amount of ore depending on the exact process you put it through. But for those few ores, there's currently only the manufactory. So yeah, like I said, that's going to get shut off in a future update, and they'll have the regular process that every other ore currently has, like like copper ore. You can if you look at like iron ore, you can process it and through Mekanisim and get what 5 times the ore. You can do all the different Mekanisim things with it. You could throw it in the industrial blast furnace, which actually gives you a 3 times ore. I didn't know that. And gives you dark ashes. Oh, you have to have calcite dust to go with it. Let's see what else you could do it in the regular grinder. The grinder is not actually craftable. That's one of those ones that overlapping setting removes. So it actually is removed, but the industrial grinder is not. The industrial grinder is something that you can do. It gives you the iron dust, nickel, a little bit of, and some secondaries. That's the only way to get nickel, by the way. One of the few ways to get nickel. Like, I shouldn't say it's the very only way, but like nickel, you can only get it from an ore. Actually, that is the only way to get it from an ore. Right? Yeah. That's the only way you get it from an ore is through the industrial grinder, either by grinding iron or sheldonite, which is found in the end. So yeah. Anyway, those other nuclear craft ores will eventually get a process similar to that. And I lost my chat. Hang on. Here we go. There we go. They'll eventually get a process similar to that. I might have to do a lot of tweaking, and I might even have to add another mod to force it into like having the other kinds of dust. But I'm hoping that I'll be able to maybe talk the mod creators into collaborating. That'd be the best way, I think. Like, hey, when you have your mod with talk to particularly talk to the people that make Mekanisim and Tech Reborn, because those are the ones that I would want it to process through, and give you the extra outputs and secondaries and whatnot. So yeah, all of that. Anyway, other machines from nuclear craft is the alloy furnace. This is how you make this is like your earliest game steel. It's another way to get bronze, although there's plenty of other ways to get bronze. You can mix dusts and stuff like that, but you can also smelt together the ingots and the dusts in this alloy furnace. But somewhere along in here, there's like steel. There's your early game steel. Is made by getting some graphite dust. Graphite dust is actually coal dust, or I think, does it do crushed coal or coal dust? No, it has to be coal. It can't do it with charcoal. It has to be coal, and that'll give you graphite dust if you run it through the manufactory. And apparently, if you grind up a graphite ingot, but I don't know why you'd want to do that. Maybe if you made a graphite ingot and didn't intend to. But let's see. That's the early game steel. Is through this alloy furnace using nuclear craft machines. And then that steel is necessary for progressing on, because you need steel and boron. Steel ingots plus boron gives you ferroboron alloy. Ferroboron alloy is used to craft your isotope separator, which is how you get all of your your nuclear fuels that you actually use in the fission reactor. I'm going to say that right. Fission reactor. The thing that I have downstairs is making that tick. Tick, 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 tick. Those are neutrons escaping from it. But let's see, we'll do at nuclear craft. So yeah, the alloy furnace, that's next. And then in order to proceed with actually getting your thing crafted, you have to have the isotope separator. Once you have those 3 machines, you can craft this bad boy right here, which basically consists of a fusion controller and a bunch of reactor casings plus the stuff I have inside. I really kind of want to open it up right now, but Dornell's up there using all the power, so we'll take a look at it. We'll take a look at it later, like when we go to expand it, because I would like to expand it just a little bit. I think.
Give me a minute, and I'll after all this stuff completes, I'll stop.
That's cool. You're fine. You're fine. And what I think I'd like to do is just and basically this can be any size rectangle you want. It's just the inside has to be a rectangle, and then inside this thing, reactor casings around the outside, but inside it can be a bunch of different things. You'll need some reactor cells, some coolers, some kind of coolers. There's a bunch of different kind of coolers. They all have different amounts that they cool, and they all have different requirements to do that cooling. So like if I open mine up right now, I have a couple of lapis coolers in there. I have a glowstone cooler in there, and I think I have 2 magnesium coolers in there to get that amount of cooling that I need for this. And then there's also things called what are they referred to as? This thing right here, moderators. So there's only a couple moderators, I believe, right now. Graphite blocks, beryllium blocks, and I don't think these other ones are actually moderators. I think just those 2. So, and they both do basically the same thing. There's really no difference between a graphite block and a beryllium block. And I'm not sure that there's a whole lot of other things you could do with beryllium. So I'm actually using beryllium moderators on the inside of this. I have 2 beryllium moderators, and that actually is how I'm using the glowstone cooler, because it's between the 2 beryllium moderators. And fortunately, these are not nearly as dangerous as the industrial craft nuclear reactors. I mean, I can break this block. It's not going to blow up or anything like that. It's just going to stop working until I put the block back. And that's all there is to it. Now, they will overheat. There's a heat level in here, and if you don't have the right parts inside of your reactor to keep it cool, like if this number right here was not a negative number, you want this to either be negative or you want it to be 0. If it's any kind of a positive number, the reactor will heat up slowly. Once it reaches its maximum heat, the reactor controller will melt. It'll turn into lava, and obviously stop working. It doesn't explode though. It does not explode. I would like it if there was a setting so that it would be more dangerous. Also, it'd be nice if the fuel was actually a little more dangerous as well. Like when you handle industrial craft fuel pellets and nuclear material, you have to be wearing a suit, or it'll irradiate you, and you will take massive amounts of tick damage over a long period of time. It would be nice if it had that feature that was able to be turned off and on, because I know not everybody wants that. But I would like to have it for my pack. Just saying.
And be careful what you have in your hand when you accidentally click on pipes.
Oh, did you break something?
No, but I upgraded one without wanting to.
Why did you do that? How did you do that? How does that work?
I just right-clicked on it accidentally with the wrench dial.
Oh yeah. I guess so.
Went from basic to advanced.
Advanced mechanical pipe. Did it do the whole pipe? How far down did it go? Yeah, like it did 8 pieces of pipe. No, not the whole pipe. It did like 8 pieces though. That's kind of cool.
Well, heck, I might as well finish it off.
I'm thinking like you need to do that to the power cable. Because I was just talking about fixing up the nuke. That's actually really cool. I didn't even know that was a thing. Look at that. That's cool. You can upgrade the cables in world. That's actually really, really good. That's awesome. Yeah, that's a cool feature that we just discovered. I didn't even know that was a thing now. Yeah, I died from IC2 radiation more times than you can count for being careless. Yeah, it definitely happens. I would love it if the nuclear craft actually had that as a thing that it did. Or a toggleable thing, not necessarily always on, but like in the configuration, like you could turn that on as a feature.
Now, if I do this,
if you do it,
Because they're going to blow up the IC2
No.
machines?
Now that's the nice thing about using the advanced cable, is they will never overpower a machine. That's one of the reasons I like using those type of cables instead of using the IC2 style cables, because if you send too much power to a machine using the IC2 cables, they will blow up. Boom. Gone.
Okay, well, everything should be upgraded.
Nice.
Didn't mean to do that, but
yeah,
okay.
it was an awesome thing to learn. Back to talking about nuclear craft, though. So yeah, once you have these three machines, your manufacturer, your alloy furnace, your isotope separator, and in fact, I was going to look at alloy furnace is actually just a manufacturer upgraded with a few extra bits. Really, really simple. I don't think I'm going to change these recipes because I want this to be an early game accessible power source. Or, well, mid-game, I should say. It's not really early game because it does require that you get some graphite, lead, and together, and those do require a little bit of processing to get your iron picks and things like that. But then the isotope separator, where is it at here? You can get really into it, real deep into it after that, but the basics are just these three blocks. Isotope separator somewhere along in here. Sure, it's here somewhere. Well, I probably scrolled past my mouse right over it. Salt mixer, chemical reactor. The pressurizer is an alternative for the compressor, so that's a nice way to make your plates, and some other things. And it's not too expensive. Like, look, it's just a alloy furnace with some pistons added to it, and the advanced plating is your tough alloy. Tough alloy is made in the alloy furnace, of course. Fuel reprocessor. I'm going to need to make a fuel reprocessor next because we're going to end up we're going to have a bunch of spent fuel rods, and there it is, isotope separator, which is the alloy furnace, and those ferroboron alloy ingots that we were talking about a little bit earlier, and some advanced plating, which is again that tough alloy and such. That is really loud. I hope it's not coming through super loud. I hope it's not drowning me out, I mean. It does got my foot tapping though. Then once you have those three things, you can then make your controller. Where is it at? Here. Your nuclear reactor controller. There it is. The fission controller. Some magnesium diboride solenoids. Those are not too bad. It's just magnesium diboride, which is magnesium and boron mixed together and gives you some ingots. And some tough alloy will give you some magnesium diboride solenoids. And some DU plating. Now this is where the isotope separator. Cool. It's not drowning me out. Excellent. This is where that isotope separator first comes into play, because you have to have that before you can even craft the controller, because you need a little bit of uranium-238 in order to craft the DU plating. And then once you have that, then it becomes more of a, just kind of putting it together in a way that works. There's a lot of configurations that'll work. There's a very, very, very small configuration that you can do that's just a 1x2, where you put a single reactor cell in and a single cooler. Probably the lapis cooler is like one of the easiest, cheapest. It's probably one of the easiest ones to get, and it does a pretty good amount of cooling, so it will work for that 1x2. But when you start making it bigger, there becomes all kinds of additional intricacies that you need to know about. So like when you put two reactor cells beside each other, they actually increase the efficiency. So we look inside here, we can see that our efficiency, with the current configuration, our efficiency is at 255%. So I'm getting an extra amount of energy from the fuel that I'm using in it. And you can also see that my heat multiplier is 444% because of the configuration of the cells plus the moderators that I have in there increase that heat as well. So, and that's actually a good thing, because moderators, more heat, when it comes to moderators, more heat equals more power equals more efficiency. So the thing that what I'm thinking I would like to do is basically, I've got 3 cells in there right now, 3 power cells in there right now. I'd like to put another 3 power cells in there that will, I'm gonna take this apart a little bit here real quick. Oh, actually the 3 power cells are right down the middle. I might have to rearrange it a little bit then, for sure, because I want to have the I want to have 6 power cells in there, or 6 reactor cells in there, and I want them to like be in this configuration but like spread out. So let me put that back together. So there's still power being created. So we can go ahead and start maybe upgrading this, especially since Dornell was kind enough to upgrade our power cables. Now it can handle that amount of power. Might as well start generating that amount of power, right? So we're going to need more cells, which is the tough alloy.
Until you took out the fuel rods or whatever you were doing downstairs, everything, the power was keeping up with everything. Now it's all backed up.
Well, yeah, it probably, yeah. Usually, whenever I do that, it takes a second for it to like, for the whole power network to like figure out that. Maybe it's just the fact that something else turned on. I don't know. All the power is being used, so I can tell you that. It was probably just a little bit of a backlog that it had built up, but I need some tough alloy. So I believe that's carbon bricks. That's not even. Why is this even in here? That's not. Wait, is that useful for something? Pressurizer. Oh, for making the carbon plates. Okay, that's what those are in there for. Those are not what I need. I need tough alloy, and I don't see any over here. So tough alloy, if I remember. Tough alloy. There it is. I gotta remember. I'm pretty sure that's that's the ferroboron ingots with lithium combined. So that's a few processes that I have to run some stuff through. So we're gonna need some coal. We're gonna need to turn that into dust. Actually, can I do that faster now with the macerator? Maybe. It's quick, but it's not that quick. I hope it's not gonna like spit it into the overwasher. I don't think it will. Nope. I don't want it to go into the enrichment chamber either. Hopefully, it doesn't look like it's going to do it, so that's good. I didn't even think about putting that enrichment chamber on top of the macerator. If it can push it into there, it will, because we got the auto ejector thing upgrade on there. Although I think there's a way. How do I do it? There's a way to configure this ejector. Is it like... I know there's a way to configure this. Maybe it's...
You need the advanced ejector.
Oh, is it the advanced ejector?
Yes, you can configure the advanced ejector.
Okay, that might be the difference. I remember you used to be able to do that. Oh no, that's fine, Whisper. That's fine. They'll get used, I'm sure. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I wish I would have known they were in there earlier, because I needed some and I had made some more because I didn't know there was some.
Yeah, that's
okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
And you crashed.
I'm just lost connection, I think. It feels like. Yeah, lost connection.
Yep, network connection error, yeah.
I hope we're not going to run into that I can never get back in scenario. That always sucks. Looks like I might be okay though. Alright, the other thing I'm going to need, well, that's right, I was making coal dust so that I can then turn it into graphite dust. Turn that graphite dust into some steel. How much steel do we have over here right now? 23?
Why are you doing that?
Why not? Oh, yeah, you're right.
Enrich a piece of coal, and it'll make you 4 steel. There's 23 steel up there already.
Right. Well, I still need the graphite dust, I think, for some other stuff, so we'll let that process out. This actually can be done with charcoal now. So if we throw that in there and we enrich that, I'm gonna actually get 3 more. 1, 2, 3, 4 more. I'm gonna be using a lot of steel. Steel tools and swords are actually really good. And they can be made fairly early game using the well, I was also trying to show the nuclear craft process of making the steel too, because that's,
well, you can make a couple pieces.
Yeah, it's the early game way.
Seriously.
Which yeah, I think we did. Oh, we're out of iron.
No, we're not.
You working on some iron?
You better go look over in the thing.
Over in the thing. The thing with the thing? It's empty. There's none in there.
There was over 3 stacks of iron in there.
There's none in there now.
You're going through 3 stacks of iron.
But yeah, there we go. That'll make a little bit of steel.
Slow down, sunshine. You don't need that much iron.
I just pulled stacks out of
and
time.
You need. Yeah, but here's the thing. That can only do 16.
What's that?
32 can only do 16.
Huh?
You got too much in there for what you got in the bin.
We've got some iron ore to process here. Let me throw that in let me pull that out of there. We don't need to be using that for that anyway, so I will turn this coal dust into graphite though, because I will be needing that graphite for other things. Because I need the graphite. I need the graphite dust to make the basic casings, or basic plates for nuclear craft. Then you take the steel, you put the steel back in there, you combine it with boron. Where's my boron? Do I have some boron? Yes, I have a bunch of boron dust. Good. Combine that with some boron, that'll give me the tough alloy. No, that'll give me the ferroboron alloy, which I then use to make the tough alloy, with combining it with lithium. Yep, I believe.
And Landstryder wastes our materials. You ain't living this one down,
I'm not
brother.
wasting anything. I don't know what you're talking about.
You need that much steel?
Yeah. Yes, I do. The other thing that's really nice is these tough alloy armor. If you want to make that, those are like really good armors, by the way. Pretty good durability, very good protection, and they look cool. They're black almost. But we gotta get the tough alloy first. Tough alloy, because we are working on making some more reactor stuff.
All right, well, I'm going to take a small step away.
In fact, that's perfect. I need 1 and 3. There's my 3 reactor cells. 3 reactor cells. I'm going to need, I think here, I should actually go down and look, because what I want to do is, yeah, we're going to have to take this apart for a second. Oh, I need to see the other side actually. We're going to take it completely apart here in a little bit, but I need to see this side real quick. So there I have magnesium coolers. So I need 2 magnesium coolers.
Before I go, you want me to pull a train into the streaming channel with us?
That'd be good. I need 2 magnesium coolers and 3 more.
Hello, gentlemen.
Hello, train.
3 more of the lapis coolers.
How goes it?
Pretty good. We're I'm working on expanding the reactor. We're doing pretty good on stream. You missed earlier when I went over all of the revisions that will be coming up in the next update.
Oh.
Just a quick,
All right. What have I missed?
Just a quick recap of that for anybody that's has only just joined.
Oh, ice stream!
Ore doubling for the nuclear craft odd ores. The cyclic charms are going to get tech recipes. We're going to add a compression mod so that you can have compressed cobblestone and various other resources can be compressed into blocks. Drawer tweaks, which the storage drawers recipes are going to actually change so that they only give 1 drawer no matter which recipe that you're using. And then the amount that they store is actually going to go up a little bit, particularly for the 2x2s. Their exchanger recipes, they currently, because of an update, it added the vanilla recipes back in. Those are going to get disabled again. The configurator is going to get a more early game recipe so that it can be crafted at the same time that you're able to first craft the advanced cables. I'm going to make sure that nether diamonds are a little more plentiful. Inventory tweaks is going to get added. I'm going to add some recipes for the stone dust that you get from the industrial craft ore processing. A bunch of extra recipes for that because there's very minimal things that you can do with it. You get a ton of it. The color of the sun should change a little bit so that it is obvious that it's a red giant instead of a normal star like ours. If you want to call ours, I'll call ours a normal. I'm not sure that it is, but
it is. It's quite
common.
Actually, it's quite common star.
Yeah. Proxima Centauri actually in reality is a red giant, so it's going to change a little bit. Elevator recipe is going to get a more early game friendly recipe instead of having to wait for late game for that. And then early game gunpowder and silicon ingots from AE Silicon instead of having to make the big giant electric arc furnace. There'll be an alternative method of getting that. So that's what you missed. That's about it. Okay, back to now. I need some coolers. Let's grab those out. And I need the not the advanced fluid cooler. I need this one right here.
I might have to go get an Optifine
tough
real fast.
Alloys. I need a bunch more tough alloy because I need a total of 5 coolers. I don't think I have any extra coolers up in here, do I? No. Is that tough alloy? No, that's those carbon bricks. Magnesium diboride. I don't think I need any of that right this minute. But I need a total of 5 of these. So steel plus tough alloy, which is ferroboron. Okay, ferroboron. Boron and more steel. Yeah, these reactors take a lot of steel. No doubt about it. Where did I have some steel cooking someplace? No. I'll put this graphite dust away because I'll be using that later for some other stuff, I believe. I do have 1 extra reactor. Oh, I'm going to need to make a bunch more reactor casings too. Reactor casings, which is more tough alloy. Okay. I didn't need to make a bunch of tough alloy. So ferroboron, so I need more boron. How much more boron do I have? I think the boron's in there right now, isn't it? Yes, it is. And now I'm just waiting on some steel, which is, I'm getting steel dust. I need steel ingots. This does give you the steel a lot cheaper as far as like the carbon goes. But it does require a little bit of extra processing. Okay, let's get that over into here so we can start getting our the next stage over there. Hey, we got a bunch of steel in the drawer over here. I should just grab that. And then throw that in there, because might as well. Yep, it's almost that's almost enough. Actually, I think it takes 2 boron per. Or is it 1 and 1? Nope, it's 1 and 1. So I just need 2 more pieces of steel to finish off that pile of boron, and might as well do it. I might as well do it. All right, let's put the steel back. Dump my excess inventory junk. I think I'm done with the glass for now, so I put that back as well. And I should probably start processing more uranium. So let's throw that in there to start processing as well. So we're going to need more fuel.
Okay. Question real fast.
Answer.
A problem that could be causing the lag for my game could be the Java version, right?
Yeah, possibly.
Okay.
I would not recommend going to Java 9 because it's not very compatible yet. But the latest version of Java 8 makes sure. But if you're running it through Twitch, it'll automatically download a Java version.
No, but that doesn't make any sense.
Uh-oh, I think I'm about to lose connection again.
I'm using only 5 megabytes of RAM here when I've allocated 8 out of my 16.
Yeah, that's about normal.
It's still lagging.
Well, it could be that better FPS and Optifine.
I put up better FPS and it helped. Maybe Optifine is needed as well.
I don't know, dude. I find that sometimes those things actually have the opposite effect of that they're intended, depending on your system. In fact, not this computer that I'm using, but I had a previous computer that, you know, everybody was like, you should get Optifine, and whenever I tried to use Optifine, it actually cut my FPS way down to about a quarter of what I was getting without it. Even after properly adjusting all the settings within Optifine, still didn't help.
It seems I get spikes of lag whenever the a mass amount of chunks update at once.
Well, that's pretty normal.
Like it'll kick me, like if I get like 4 or 5, it'll kick me down to like 2-3 FPS.
I don't know.
This is weird.
Could be your video drivers?
Might
Although
be.
This shouldn't actually use your video drivers, to be honest, but
Okay, here's something.
I would say, does it? I would check to see if it happens in single player. Although it looks like I'm gonna have a hard time connecting to the server, back to the server again. Dang it!
Looking at the top right corner with the F3 menu up, it's only using. It has the memory calculation. It's using 34% out of 7,186 megabytes. It's using 2,500 megabytes.
Yeah.
It's not using the full.
You want it to have some space open. Typically. Oh, it's gonna kick me out again. Dang it! Don't kick me out.
It did.
We got a lot of NPCs in the area, looks like. Ugh. See, I just have a problem staying connected. That's my main thing. When you use a high amount of RAM, Java has trouble with the garbage collection thing. Yeah, they've fixed that.
Maybe it's just from running an older version that still has that problem.
It's supposed to have fixed that anyway. No, I'm gonna get right back out. Yeah, see, now I can't stay connected. Dang it. Pack runs fine with 5 gigabytes allocated. Whisper says, and she has an i7. He has an i5. I don't think that would make a big difference, but yeah, you can probably drop it down to 5 gig.
All right.
I've always run with 8 in the newer versions of Minecraft. Now, if I was going back to one,
I'm probably gonna go reinstall Java just to be safe because I'm running an old version.
if you're not running Java 8,
16, like from 2016, Java 8 version.
I don't know.
Yeah, you need the newest Java if you want to run well.
Yeah.
Ugh, come on, let me in, you stupid internet.
Yeah, I'm a good solid 100 updates behind. That could be the problem.
But like I said, if you're running through Twitch, though, it doesn't even use your installed version. It downloads its own version. Although I don't recommend using that. I actually recommend downloading the latest version of Java 8. But am I going to stay connected now? Maybe.
How do you switch that so it uses the one you're using?
You have to go into that same area where I was telling you about the settings and your.
Yeah, I see it. The Java version is which we use Java version to launch Minecraft, but it's grayed out. I can't change it.
Then it doesn't even recognize that you have Java installed. Probably. I'm just guessing.
Weird.
Like, oh gosh, it looks like we might have to wrap the stream up so early because I'm not able to stay connected to the server anymore. Although that might have to do with Discord. And let me try. So I'm going to disconnect from Discord for a minute and see if I can stay connected, or see if I can connect to the server then. Doesn't seem like it's going to work, but I'll give it a minute. Clearly, I'm not actually receiving from the server. Dang it! What is going on here? I just close that window. Make sure that's not having an effect. Let me close that window. Actually, just exit Twitch. That might have a small effect. Alright, now let me try reconnecting to the server, see if I can stay connected for more than a few seconds. It's not a client issue. It's not a client. It's my internet. I have like the worst internet that you can have short of having dial-up, and I'm not even sure that it's that good. I mean, I might be better off with dial-up. And I can't do a computer reboot right now because I'm rendering a video in the background, so. And it's almost done, so I don't want to mess that up. Which could possibly be part of the issue, but there should be no this is a network traffic issue is basically what it comes down to. And I'm on a subnet of a subnet using a radio antenna to connect to a farm that's like a couple miles away. So yeah, it's a very iffy, very iffy connection, internet connection. And the thing is it's that time of day when everybody's getting home from work and turning on their Netflix or whatever. So, and because again, subnet of a subnet basically means that everybody is sharing this one internet connection that's probably not even as strong as a cable internet connection to begin with. And that's like, you know what I'm trying to say. I think people know what I'm trying to say here. I'm so far behind, so far down on the network, in the network that and it's being shared out but so many other people that basically means that trying to get a consistent connection through to the server is like really hard. Really hard. Alright, looks like I might be in for a minute. Yeah, that's usually not a streaming and rendering was never a problem when I had a really good solid cable internet connection with my previous where I used to live. Since I moved to the new house, things are a lot better in the real world, in my real life. Unfortunately, my internet connection now absolutely blows. And not too much I can do to fix that. All right, now that seems like I've actually reconnected to the server. Okay, let's switch that over. And throw in our lithium dust to start cooking that up. Now that seems like we have a solid connection again, I will jump back into Discord and see if I can stay connected to Discord and the server at the same time now. It does seem like if I connect my Minecraft client to the server and then go about doing other things, it still keeps the priority on the Minecraft. You know what I mean? So like if I want to watch a video, off of the internet and play on a Minecraft server at the same time, if I'm watching the video and then I try to connect to the Minecraft server, it'll never work. Never in a million years. But if I connect to the Minecraft server and then start watching the video, it's usually okay. And again, and this is all probably because I'm on a subnet of a subnet, and there's only so many tunnels that can go through those routers at a time.
Probably. Yeah, I accidentally installed the 32-bit. My bad.
But now that I'm finally back in, I can finally get to making that last piece that I needed, which was a cooler. And oh yeah, I need the coolers, and I need the reactor casings as well. Not that one, the active cooler. I need the passive cooler, which is steel.
You should also probably get some battery banks at some point as well.
I'm not too concerned about that. The internal storage is pretty good. Plus, we just upgraded all the conduits to tier 2. All the piping and stuff is now tier 2. We discovered a really cool thing about that. You can actually just click on them with the alloys, and it'll upgrade. It'll upgrade 8 sections of it at a time.
That's
awesome.
That's
like a new feature that I wasn't aware of. That's really cool.
Neither was I. That's a really good feature too.
Cool. There's my steel. So we need...
Yep, that worked.
1, 2... I need 5, so we're going to have to just do 6 because there's even numbers there.
Okay, so what's next do you guys need me to do?
I think we want to work on some advanced rocketry, I believe. Although...
Or collection.
Yeah, ore collection is always good.
We have a digital miner for that, though. We can
there
use
you
that.
go. Make the digital miner.
Yep.
What about an automatic ore processing system?
We kind of have that going a little bit, but yeah, you can. You're more. I mean, anything.
Like, you mean you build something in the basement that's automatically processing ores, or are you talking about our container system we have above the processing units? We grab stuff out of.
You mean like that actually just pull out of the system? Yeah, you could probably set up something like that if you wanted. I would recommend probably getting some XNet maybe going. Do you guys seriously know that the Mekanisim pipes, it's been... Oh, yeah, I did not know that, but I haven't done anything in Mekanisim for over 2 years.
Holy crap.
I have not messed with Mekanisim for a very long time.
Yeah, that and the fact that you disabled the one tool we need to function with Mekanisim pipes still, yeah.
It's not disabled.
I thought you disabled
It's never been disabled. You just...
Or did you make the recipe stupidly
hard?
hard?
It's the default recipe.
No, the only thing that was hard was the metallurgical confuser, which is what you need to start Mekanisim.
Oh, I'm not thinking of the wrench, not the configurer. Sorry.
But nope, we're no issues there.
I mean, yeah, I could probably get started on making the next stages of processing using all the chemicals and such.
Let me check this.
Or metallurgy, or not metallurgy, Mekanisim.
I need the magnesium coolers. Okay, actually, I only needed 16 then. Yeah, do it. I mean, there's nothing that we don't need. You know, we need to test everything. So do whatever you particularly like, or that you know that you're good at, or just jump into it.
Now, is there a way we can? You said that Open Computer had droids.
Yes,
now,
Open
right?
Computers has it's not so much droids. Let me check here. Open Computers. We also have open modular turrets too, by the way, for defense. If we wanted to set up that stuff.
That'd be nice.
And I think that I would like. That's another mod that I might be adding in the future is the Onslaught mod. So that like, as time goes on, you know, more and more mobs spawn. The older the world is.
Go.
They have drones and robots. Drones and robots are the things that Open Computers adds. It's really cool. There's the drones. And nanobots. Those are the other things that you actually consume, and you can run effects on yourself. Okay, so I got that. I'm gonna need all those tough alloys to make the plates and stuff, which I think I need a bunch of lead for. How much lead do we got?
That's right back.
That's not enough lead. We process some lead. Looks like it's backed up with iron right now. So where's the lead? That should be lead. Toss that in there. Let's pull that out so that it continues processing. Pull that out so it continues processing. The stone dust away? Oh, there we go. That drawer is already full of stone dust. Yep, entirely full. So let's make another one. Toss those in there. Okay, so where's my magnesium? I need that magnesium. Or beryllium. Did I make beryllium? Ah, I did. I mean beryllium. I actually need magnesium. Is that magnesium? That's beryllium dust. I need magnesium. What is that? Aluminum. Okay. Oh, does that mean I actually have to process some magnesium, doesn't it? Probably. Oh, there's magnesium dust. I need that times 16. I cooked the wrong thing, I believe. Right? Is that what I'm making? Coolers? Well, I mean, I'd like to have the open modular turrets be useful for something. I may not do the Onslaught mod, but what I might do is like change the magnesium is pink, yes. And that cooler thing is slightly pink too, so I should have known. But that's what we're trying to make: 2 magnesium coolers. And I'm gonna. Well, I did need the beryllium anyway, because I believe no, actually I don't. Do I? Let me think here. Do I even need these coolers? Yes, I think I do. Now that I'm how's this gonna work? Yeah, we'll start putting it together and see if we can't get it to work. But I might need another couple beryllium blocks as well. So I need to cook 2 more beryllium to get the 2 beryllium blocks. Okay, 2 more beryllium. Get the beryllium blocks. While those are cooking up, I'm going to go ahead and make the magnesium coolers. Oh, got wrong thing. There we go. These things. We're working on expanding our nuclear reactor, our fission reactor, to produce more power right now. And I think once I actually get this all completed, we're going to have to wrap the stream up a little bit because I got some things I need to take care of in real life, but I don't want to. Yeah, but I actually can use these beryllium blocks as well, so it's all good. It's all good. I got a pile of iron dust. I should throw that in here to cook. What was it I need to make? Oh yes, lead dust. Is the lead being processed yet? It's going over here. I'm getting crushed lead. Let's pull that out. I actually need the lead right now more than the iron. See if we can drop some of that in. I'm just going to dump this dust in here for now. It'll get processed later. Yes, expanding the reactor from nuclear craft. Right now we are producing like 920 RF a tick with our current configuration and our current fuel rods, which we are down to our last fuel rod too, by the way. Ooh, we're gonna have to reprocess some fuel too. Oh, didn't I started processing some nuclear material up here as well? So let's continue that, because we got the dust. Now we have to throw it up into the isotope separator.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Now let's see here. There's a lot of different ways that we can make the reactor work and maybe work better. So we're gonna like take the blocks that we made. I have a kind of an idea of what I think I want to do, and if that doesn't work, then we'll just start tearing into it and reconfiguring it until we get something that works with more efficiency and produces more power. So up next, I need to make a bunch of reactor casings. These guys right here. So tough alloy, which is lead and graphite. Didn't I have a bunch of graphite that I had left over from earlier? Yes, there it is. Graphite, and where is my lead? Lead should be cooking up right here. In fact, there we go. We need all those, and there we go. Gonna get 2 more lead, so I don't. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. That way I don't have these things left over. That should be more than enough casings, I believe, to expand out the reactor. All right, I'm gonna take the power system down for a second here. Thankfully, these don't blow up whenever you tear into them. So we're gonna need our reactor cells back out of there, because I think what I want to do is I want to start with the reactor cells against this wall, right? 1, 2, 3. We're going to put our lapis coolers directly on top. Then we're going to put our beryllium moderators there. The glowstone cooler will work right there. Oh, I might need another glowstone cooler. I think I actually have, yeah, I have an extra cooler thing. Because if I do 2 more beryllium blocks there, yep, I need another glowstone cooler. That shouldn't take but a second. And we got the glowstone right here. So I need 2 glowstone blocks, and that. And that plus my empty cooler will give me another glowstone cooler. Cool, perfect. So I can put that glowstone cooler there, and then I'm going to put these reactor cells on the top like so, and these lapis coolers on the bottom like so, and then let me switch this off so that it doesn't immediately turn on. I want to actually look at the stats before I turn it on. There we go. That should be a fully formed reactor. Let's check out our stats. Ooh, that is way too much heat. How can we fix that? We are way overheating. Oh, we got these magnesium coolers. Why do I have a bunch of magnesium coolers? That's a pretty good amount of RF per tick, though. How does that do? We're still about the same efficiency, though. Okay. Alright, well, let's tear it into it again.
Okay, here's the main question. Do we want to do the full chain or not?
The full chain.
Like the chemical, like
You don't
sulfuric
don't have time to
acid
set all that
chain.
up. I can tell you that.
Okay. All right, I'll just do the oxygen and hydrogen chloride setup.
Okay. All right, let's get up on top. Believe. How can we do this a little bit differently? If we're doing a 3x3x3, that might give us more options. We need more cooling, basically. And if you just don't have the space in here to do the cooling with that number of cells, but if we did 3 tall, 1, 2, 3, right, 1, 2, 3, and then we did another 1, 2, 3 like that, and then we can do the moderator blocks right up the middle, like that. Let's see, these must touch 1 reactor casing and 1 moderator block. Ooh, that makes that difficult. Okay, so we're gonna have to distribute these around a bit.
Thermal
Oh, here we go.
setup.
This will work. If I do it like that, and then I put magnesium and magnesium there. Right, that'll work. And then I can do lapis in the corners. 1, 2, 3. But basically, every one of these coolers has different circumstances under which they work. So if you look at the lapis cooler, it must touch at least 1 reactor cell and 1 active moderator block. Oh, that's the water cooler. The redstone cooler must touch at least 1 reactor cell. So the quartz cooler must touch 1 active moderator block, etc., etc. Each one of these has different circumstances under which they will function.
Sorry.
Inside the reactor. So that should actually work. And then we can do that.
What's our way of making steel? Just curious.
Mekanisim.
Oh yeah, the iron enrichment.
These glowstone must touch 2 active moderator blocks, so 2 glowstone can go there and there, because those moderator blocks are now active. And now I should be able to put these 2, 1, 2 there, like so. And then I think I can actually put 2 more magnesium coolers in there. Yeah, I could still fit 2 more magnesium coolers in. Should work. Let me check the magnesium cooler. It must touch 1 reactor casing and 1 active moderator block. Okay, so there's
Train, you're going to want to wait. There's no power.
Oh.
So I need, what is it, magnesium coolers? I need magnesium ingots. Oh shoot, I'm gonna need to do some power switching here, I think. Okay, so I just gotta remember that this is the side, right here is where I need to open it back up to fix it here in a minute. But for now, we need to close it up and get some power up there so that we can, actually, let me think here. This is, no, that's not. Now it should work. Do I have enough casings now? That's a good question.
There's a spare casing block up top, I saw.
Actually, I'm good. That should be.
Also, you're almost out of
yes,
spent. Yeah, of fuel.
Okay, do not let that thing overheat. Well, it's not even turned on right now, so.
Oh lord! Wow, a lot of heat generation.
And I don't think the 2. I'm gonna have to reconfigure a few things in there.
When we turn on for a quick second, just get a burst of energy.
So I actually need 4 more coolers.
Don't turn it.
As long as you're maintaining it and watching it, that's fine. Just don't let it overheat. So I have an extra beryllium. I don't need a moderator, I need some coolers. Some coolers.
3, 4, 5, 6.
Which is steel and the tough alloy. I have the tough alloy, I just need the steel. Where did the steel go? Do I have enough steel to make these? Ugh, I'm like one short on steel. Actually, didn't I just cook
Here.
that one steel? What? I need like one steel. Yes. Thank you. So that will make me 4 more empty coolers. And what I said, I needed magnesium. So let's cook up the magnesium. I got enough lead for the moment. I need 16 magnesium to cook. But that's not going to give me enough. What's the current heat generation on there?
Hold on, let me read it. It's doing 446.
This is, if I get these installed right, that's going to be 220. So I'm still going to be short by quite a bit. So I need like another 2 lapis as well. That would be, yeah, that would actually probably do it. So 2 lapis. Oh, are we seriously about out of lapis? Oh man, we're out of lapis. Dang it. Might have to go with a slightly less than what I wanted, but or what I was trying to do, but we'll get it worked out in there. I could do a there's some other things I could do. There's definitely some other things I could do with this.
Like I'm the guy at Chernobyl just watching the reactor making sure not to let it blow up and lets it blow up accidentally.
Yeah, I'd prefer not to have to recreate it.
I'm just trying to get some sort of buffer, so I'm turning it on and off periodically, letting it fully cool down, then booting it back up again.
How much lapis you think you need?
I need, let's see, I have 5. I need 2 blocks, so 13.
Well, I just picked up 31.
Yeah, bring it up. I need that. Could use that. There we go. Get me 2 more magnesium coolers.
Just be glad I actually uncovered it while I was down there.
All right. We're tearing into it. Let's see. How can I make this work? All right. The magnesium coolers do not need to touch the casings. Okay. Okay, awesome. 2. Okay, let's see if this is gonna be. This should be enough if I can get it all in there configured properly. These need to touch. Okay, well hang on. That will go there. That's a magnesium there already.
Wait.
Let's see if I can figure this out here. Magnesium, magnesium, magnesium. The glowstone touches 2. See, glowstone must touch 2 active moderators. Okay, so these have to stay where they're at because those 3 moderators are the active moderators. The magnesium coolers need to touch the moderators. Shoot. How is this going to work? Magnesium needs to touch the moderators. The lapis must touch the cell and the casing. So cell and the casing would be these, like right there, like that. But then need to touch the reactor casing and an active moderator block, so no, that won't work. That's not an active moderator block, that's the magnesium cooler. I don't think I have enough space. Either that or I need to... hang on here. Trying to figure out how this will work. Let's start over here. I'm gonna try something different because this is not gonna work. I don't have enough to cooling for this to work properly. Yep, derp.
Derp.
Okay, let's see what we got. I want to get these 6 in the middle. If I can get these all touching each other, if I could do like this, right? 1, 2, 3, like that. That actually could produce even more efficiency. Of course, it's going to make more heat, but... And then if I did... Let's say I've got 2 moderator blocks. Moderators have to touch, right? If I did like that, that would allow me to use up my glowstones like this. Glowstones like that. Wait, how many magnesiums do I got? 6. Ugh. It's a magnesium. Okay, so let's actually do... I think I got it. I think I might got this. Oop. Didn't mean to do that. Let's do that. Let's actually put my lapis coolers back there in the corner. That's fine. 6 of them. I might even need a couple more lapis coolers here. Let's do moderator blocks here and here, there and there, because the glowstone coolers must touch 2 active moderator blocks. Now the magnesium coolers only need to. Okay, we'll do that, and that.
You just got yourself stuck in there, you know.
Yeah. We can actually pull these 2 lapis out and put a magnesium there. And put another magnesium behind here. That should work. Okay, and then what do we got? 4 lapis left? 1, 2, 3. Shoot, I got an extra lapis one now. How is that gonna work out?
You give it a test just to see.
Trying to think here. I've got 1 lapis cooler left. Let's put this together and see what the stats are on this, because I think it's going to be way too much heat the way I have it set up right now. But I really want.
It's the lever.
I want to see what the stats are on this.
640.
Ooh, but look at the output. Look at the output, though.
Wow.
Man, if I could just get this cooling to work. It's probably not going to.
Yeah.
I think what I'm going to have to do is
cut back on the reactor cores for a bit.
Remove that center coolant thing. Ah, man. This is hard.
It's nuclear science. Of course it's hard.
Okay, so... Yeah, I want that efficiency. The problem is it's not going to work out very well. What if I don't use as many moderators? Wait, no, I need the moderators in order to use the magnesium coolers. I got an idea. Maybe I got an idea. Maybe I have an idea. All right, so if I want to have these here, right? Two things, and I put a now I need 2 moderator blocks, and then I want to use 2 glowstones, because glowstones are pretty good. They're 130, but they have to go between 2 moderator blocks.
What about putting the fuel cells in the middle and then having a ring in the center
I mean,
3.
that would certainly work.
You could then have the glowstone with the two moderators in a set of corners, and then off of each one of those faces, because you'll just have between a reactor core, you'll have two glowstones
this will
sitting
certainly
next
work. I was
to
trying to figure out how I could get 6 cells in here, but
well, you could still get like
ooh, what if I did
7
it like
cells,
this?
but that's what I'm basically saying is that.
Okay, yeah, this could work out.
So, like in this case over here in the back corner, you could put a magnesium there or a glowstone there and there.
Oh.
Since you'll have the beryllium controls there on the top.
You want the moderator blocks to touch as many cells as possible.
Ah, okay.
So like there and there, and then.
And you could put a glowstone over there in the corner.
Put the glowstone in this corner way down in there.
And then do the same thing on the top block as well.
Do the same thing on the top. Hang on, coming back in.
You could put a lapis in the middle of that all as well. Or a magnesium, depending on which one's better.
Hang on, the magnesium needs to touch.
It needs to touch the control block.
A casing and a moderator block. Okay, so, and I've got 6 magnesium coolers. Ugh. Okay, but I put my other moderator block there. Glowstone would go there, but I think what I want to do before I do that is actually put the lapis back in that corner as well. Then magnesium. No, wait, no, that's not magnesium. I want the glowstone back in that. Glowstone back there. And it has to touch 2, so I gotta put that there. Right? So now I've got the magnesium coolers, which can go there, 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 and there. Now I got 2 magnesium coolers left over. Dang it. Yeah, no way to place them. Nowhere to place them. Now, I think that having that glowstone connected to 2 of those in there might be good. All right, let's just try this, that, and that, there, and there, and there. And maybe if I get one more lapis cooler.
Lapis? Yeah.
I don't know. We can assemble it and find out real quick. I think I popped a couple blocks over here. Yeah, there we go. Is there any missing on the back? Is it giving a readout now?
That worked. Negative 43 at 1,880 RF a tick.
Yes, we got a configuration that works, and a couple parts left over for.
I was useful for something.
You did help quite a lot, actually. That was good. Wadoosh. All right, we're powered up again.
I'm actually surprised that idea worked. I figured it might, considering you would be having the fuel core center line with the entire thing instead of having it sit off to one side. You'd be able to get more faces touching. That's what I thought.
It worked out. We actually ended up not using one of the cells. That's a lot to do with it, but the configuration that we put in there give us the same power that our 6 cells was gonna get, because we got that center cell has actually 4 cells touching it, 5 cells touching it. Well, yeah, 5 cells touching it. Yeah, 4. I don't know. Anyway, it's a good configuration. Pretty good efficiency there. Pretty good efficiency there. In fact, if we come in here and look now, we should be set. Yeah, look at that, 313 efficiency. Yay! That's what I was hoping for, is to get something above 250, which is what we was at sitting about. What we was at before, approximately 250. So now we're up over 300% efficiency. And look at that heat multiplier, 646%. But that's okay. It's running. It's not producing any excess heat, and we have enough power to power everything. Woohoo! But I think we are going to have to wrap up the stream here, because I do have to go take care of some other things in real life. And but yeah, we'll be continuing this on. Tomorrow I'm going to be working on putting together the update for this. Don't forget to check out my latest video for Forever Stranded, Lost Souls. That should be going up sometime tonight. Probably won't actually get all the way uploaded till a little after midnight, so check it out tomorrow if you're not a late night person. And yeah, tomorrow I will be putting up probably another episode of Lost Souls, as well as working on this pack for the next update. So guys, thanks so much for hanging out with us. Until next time, I'll catch you later. And don't forget, if you have any suggestions for the pack, just go ahead and leave those in the comments. So till next time, catch you later.